Welcome to the 2024 video highlights of the Lichfield and Hatherton Canals Restoration Trust. About 70 volunteers have spent over 17,000 hours this year progressing the restoration. This video records just a tiny part of their efforts.
So you join us at a really interesting time in that what we're doing is we're taking the excess water out of the brook. This is a pre-existing sort of installation, and there's a pipe there which there's an existing abstraction license, I understand, which allows water to be taken, excess water to be taken from the brook, and that ends up at Lock 30 to cope with the lockage water. So what we're doing is installing a pump and a water meter, and basically we'll take the excess water out of the brook and pump it into the canal. So that's the idea. So yeah, it's a pump which is mainly used for sewage. So it's a removable pump. It'll sit on a rail, which we've yet to install. It'll sit on a couple of rails, and you'll be able to lift the pump out just in case there's any maintenance requirements on it.
So you're through?
Yeah, hopefully.
You are, yeah.
Come on, you are going. All of it to get the water meter on here.
A little bit too high, I think.
That's good though, isn't it? That's fine, I think.
This way, you know, sort of like that.
There's not much else left here to do.
So you've nearly finished with the stoning the track?
Yes, yeah. So we get that levelled out and whacked down, and look at it. Yeah, make it much better.
Looking good, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got my payment for today.
Oh. There's hundreds of those.
Well, today we got the D&V students in again, and they're doing a grand job. A good bit of clearing up and overcoming some of the issues of fly tipping. Down here at Gallows Reach seems to be some certain individuals within society think that they can tip whatever they like along the line of the canal. So yeah, today's the day we've gone through and we're picking up all that fly tip material, and we will dispose of it properly. Down at Tamworth Road, there's been a great deal of progress on the upper wall, the southern upper wall. The last section that has just been completed. We can't do any more until we've got planning, so we're going to return back and start doing the lower wall, but for which we need 1 or 2 plant movements. So and that will happen over the next few days.
Morning, Christine.
Morning, Paul.
Lovely day.
You brought
sunny but cold.
Yes, yeah,
What's happening?
It was frozen this morning when we got down here. And what's happening? We've had our usual Saturday morning work party of the grounds team and Duke of Edinburgh volunteers. I don't know how many Duke of Edinburgh volunteers we had today, but it must be at least 15. I've got the signing in sheet is back at the other end. So we have, oh, there's a little robin down there, wants his picture taking. And the jobs that they've been doing is tidying up, which is a perennial problem, tidying up of vegetation and more, to us irritatingly, tidying up dumped bits of fencing and rubbish which are nothing to do with us. So that has been collected up and taken, we'll get it to a tip or dispose of it properly. A variety of jobs being done, and I've just finished with an induction of a new Duke of Edinburgh volunteer, and I'm pleased to say another young lady is joining us, because we're generally far more lads.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's time to get going, so I'll let you
Yep,
off. And,
thank you very much.
see you next time.
Yeah. Oh.
So we've got about a dozen D&V volunteers, and what we're doing is the rain over the last few days has washed away some of the towpath further down. So we're taking some sand from the sand pile, barrowing it down to the other end, and they're filling in the holes to make sure that the towpath stays safe.
No.
Well, we're gathered here today to celebrate officially the opening of the Darnford Moors Ecology Park. Permanently, it's here to stay, and today's the day it's open to the public forevermore.
walk, but at least.
So good morning everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today on this windy but thankfully dry day to celebrate the opening of Darnford Moors Ecology Park.
I think if anyone has seen the canal system, there's not a lot of it that looks like this. There's not a lot of it that looks so nice and brand new. And I just wanted to say, you're not only showing your local community this lovely ecology park here, you're not just showing the West Midlands, you're showing the whole country the passion for regenerating canals like this.
Just try and see what happens.
All right, here we go.
Absolutely. There we go. I'll let Robbie have the honour of actually planting this one.
John, did you ever think it would come to this? And
No, I
you'd be
didn't.
hearing it with a nice sign like that, and it all done.
It will be well used. I'm sure people will love it.
I came along and was lucky enough to join the trust, and I brought with me some sort of nature conservation experience from when I was a bit younger, and also sort of the tree management and conservation and woodland management experience. And what the volunteers have basically taken that and created this, it's actually heartwarming and emotional. It's just amazing. I mean, genuinely, it's just absolutely amazing to
We think it's absolutely wonderful, and we want the rest of the canal doing as soon as possible.
It's quite amazing when you see what we had at the start to what we've got now on site, and their guys, our own teams working with them.
For me, it's the proudest moment of my career to walk over here today. We've had a number of fantastic things that we've got engaged with over the years, but this will be here a lot longer than I am. And I think that makes me immensely proud. Really excited to see what you achieve next.
Should we charge him for this, Robin?
It's all part of the service. All right.
And I don't see it sink.
But that's what they were.
Cheers.
Absolutely superb. And you can see the professionals have done this job. It's a beautiful job. Beautiful job. But I think Roger and I would have made a better job. No, it's absolutely superb. I mean, to see a canal restored like this in such a short time. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
I was here with Waterway Recovery Group around 1999-2000 when we did a week here as part of WERG's 30th anniversary celebrations, and we had a couple of canal camps here already and helped with putting in the culvert for the stream under the canal, put in a lot of the piling, but it's great to be back here 20 years later and actually see it in water with boats on it.
Fantastic.
Colin, you're back with us again in the summer, not here, but on a different site, and bringing your people to do some good works for us.
Yeah, we're at Tamworth Road doing the lift bridge footings and pilings there.
Excellent. So, that's a major step forward, that'll be.
That'd be nice there,
We've had a fantastic turnout, and people are just so positive about what's been achieved here by Team Lichfield. What a day.
And now it's open to the public.
It is very much open to the public, and we're looking forward to people coming down here and enjoying themselves. What a great space for Lichfield.
So, since we can only do at any particular time what we have permissions and money for, work began in April by making repairs to the original wall at the entrance to the Fosseway Lane Bridge. The next task is to create a sloped path from the road down to the towpath using gabion baskets with a stepped wall on top of them. The path from Fosseway Lane needs to be wide enough for plant and equipment to access the current site and Lock 18, so we will fit a 10-foot gate as well as a pedestrian kissing gate.
The gabions and behind the gabions is going to be the new path down to the canal towpath.
All right.
And as we lower the height of the gabions, so it's extreme right, we've got 2 full gabions. The next 2 we've got 3/4 gabion on top. The next 2 will have a half gabion on top, and so on until we get down to the wall here.
Oh, right.
The canal wall.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to infill it, put brickwork on top, infill it, put handrails on, and tidy it up against the fence, I suppose. This pipe here, Paul, goes all the way up to the road.
All right.
It's to road drainage, but it's blocked at the far end, so.
Okay. We've got one up here then.
No, for one, please.
Pass me one as well. Thank you.
I have to come this way first and then you can straighten it up when I've got the spiral in.
Make a little noise.
Without us saying anything controversial. That won't work.
You've already got that on film, yeah.
So
okay.
the idea is it's steel sheet piles here, and I've said basically a piece of 4x4 timber, and he bolts that into the side here.
Yeah, the issue we talked about as well is if these aren't exactly parallel,
So
we're going to have a problem with the tamping. So
yes,
we're
but
going to put
it's parallel between here and there. So he can tamp that way, because this is square on, this one's square at the back, so he can tamp to about here, and at that point it goes from 8.18 down to 8.17. So there's just a tip here, and I've said 8.17, 8.16 is the pile.
So it'll drain as
so
well.
it will drain, that's my feeling.
Exactly.
Well, you joined us here at Fosseway Lane. Now what we need to do here at the moment is to strengthen the embankment on the off side of the canal with steel sheet piling, which are being delivered here today.
Having them on the floor, it's just because obviously when I strap them, it pulls them together, and if he pulls them together, I can't get the straps around them to get them off. But also, if I leave the gaps without putting the blocks in, when I tighten up the straps, they slide in, and the strap as I'm driving, and the strap.
The crane is needed because of difficult access. All covered by the 28-page method statement and risk assessment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
By the end of July, the gabions were installed and filled, the wall was well advanced and the handrail fitted. A top row of blue bricks on edge topped out the wall, laid by master bricklayer Rick Walters so as to get the finest finished appearance. The gates had been installed and the team were working on finishing the path surface.
The warm one this morning.
Ah.
The scene is now set for the Waterway Recovery Group to hold a 2-week summer work camp here, something they have done for us many times.
Morning Colin, what's happening?
At the moment, Waterway Recovery Group have come down for 2 weeks to do some extra work for yourselves. We're doing some piling and we're doing a canal wall on the towpath just below us.
Yeah.
We've struck the first few piles. We're getting there. We've had a few hiccups.
How long are you here for?
We're here for 2 weeks.
How many of you?
There's 16 this week and 17 next week.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so, and
good stuff.
Good group of lads. We got in total 6 Duke of Edinburgh Gold Awards, doing their Gold Award here, so you'll see them busy.
Yeah, excellent. So you're just hammering them straight down in, so I mean what happens if you hit a rock or something?
What we have to do, we dig a trench all the way along the pile line, about 2.4 metre depth trench.
Oh, right.
And then we backfill it with a clean soil, and then we can pile the pile down. That's a 3 metre pile we're putting in at the moment to try and hold that bank back. It's a made up bank, it's made up of old rubbish and stuff, so it's not the best, but
By the end of the second week, a sizable run had been completed from the access ramp to the wall of Lock 18. The section opposite the towpath wall had been left so that the noise did not disturb the brickies working on rerouting the towpath wall.
How's it been going this week?
Well, we've been getting on. You know, we've had one or two problems, but you know, we're getting there, and there is a difference from when we turned up a week, just over a week ago. So yeah, quite well, really.
How's that? All right? Oh, good bolter. What are you doing? No. There you go. Go on.
Not my end, I'm all right. You're all okay. Yeah, everyone else. You're all right. Look below this end. Oh, sorry.
As an indication of how much progress has been made, this is the difference in just 2 weeks. The morning after, and the LHCRT team meet to review progress and decide what to do next.
Yeah, we're just down here with the construction guys to work out what to do next to finish it off, really. The Waterways Recovery Group have done a fantastic job in the installation of the piles, and we want to backfill it so we have a tapered bank that we can revegetate, and maybe wildflower seed mix in there for environmental improvements.
The exact design of the bridge has not been decided yet. The original route was closer to the cottage, but as the cottage has been extended, forcing the towpath further over, it is going to be tight.
So that's going to come out, that's going to follow that curve round, but whether it goes as far as the bridge is debatable at the moment.
Right, so that wall is going to end there.
At the moment, yeah, where the footing is, the wall's going to end. So we're going to bring it up to the height. You can see that height there. That's going to follow all the way through to the end here somewhere. We'll backfill this, and then we'll slope that path, the path that goes up towards the road, down to meet the towpath. And fingers crossed, everything comes together.
Morning, Paul. So what I have to do, the lads have done the brickwork underneath, and they want the blues put on in a nice way to finish the job off.
Yeah.
So each panel is a different size because it's depending on where the posts are. They should be equal, but so I have to bond the brickwork out. So by bonding, I mean that's where the brick has to be, and that's where that has to be. So you need to space the bricks out.
I see why they called on the expert then.
Because the measurement isn't the same on any of them. So the only way to do it is have smaller joints or larger joints, so you have a full brick.
We finally got full planning consent
for the section of canal that runs from London Road to Cricket Lane and just beyond. We've got some conditions to discharge on that before we start work, but once those are resolved in the next few weeks, we'll be able to start work, and we will have work to keep our volunteers occupied for the next approximately 2 years at that location, which is really good news.
So that includes the lift bridge?
It does, yes. We're putting tenders out for the lift bridge next week to specialist suppliers who will design, fabricate, install and commission the lift bridge, and we would expect the lift bridge to be in place by spring of next year.
This is the Worley and Essington Canal, or Curly Wurley as it's known, at Brownhills. Built around 200 years ago, closure of parts of the canal in the 50s means there is little boat traffic along here now. The Brownhills Canal Festival is organised mainly by Christine Howells on behalf of the Lichfield and Hatherton Canals Restoration Trust to raise funds for and awareness of the project.
So one of the reasons that we do the Brownhills Canal Festival is to highlight the canal in Brownhills, which gets so rarely used. It's unfortunately gets full of rubbish, full of weed. And one of the things that we're doing is restoring the Lichfield Canal. Once the Lichfield Canal is restored, it'll open up this section to the northern parts of the canal network.
No, look, opening this the missing link of this part of canal would be amazing. It would open up so much more waterways to be easily accessible. So
at the moment, there's only two ways: down through the 21 or down through Birmingham. Whereas if the rest of the canal was open, it could go through Lichfield up to Coventry and that way, which would make it a lot better.
It's nice to see that the restoration is going to go ahead.
It needs to be done, and I'm really glad it is being done, because it's gonna make a big difference.
Land to help restore part of the Lichfield Canal has been transferred to the Trust, thanks to housing developer Persimmon Homes. The land, which is part of the St John's Grange development in Lichfield, will now belong to us to manage, enabling us to continue the restoration from Gallows Reach and Wharf onwards towards Falkland Road. The handover was marked by a visit to the canal by Persimmon Homes West Midlands Managing Director Daniel Hassel. Daniel met our Derek Lord, Planning and Technical Trustee, and they recalled 8 years of difficult planning, particularly the pinch point by Old Lock 23.
I remember Peter telling me all about the pinch point, and me going, oh God.
We've had to put a retaining wall in through this pinch point because it's so tight that we only literally have almost down to millimetres.
First canal culvert I've ever seen installed, and definitely the first one I've been involved in the design and the logistics of getting it in. Yeah. It's been exciting, and it's 8 years worth of planning and 1 day to install. Well, it's actually quite nice for it to be looking a bit like a canal, isn't it? I'm sure if we'd have come 2 days ago it would have had some water in it as well. Yeah. This part of the canal I get to finally wash my hands of after dealing with it for 8 years. But fortunately we're on to the next part of the canal, which is over at Cricket Lane, and we've got another culvert to put in next year.
Yeah, right, yes. Very good. Look forward to seeing you over there.
Yeah.
Dan and I have known each other for a very long time.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So you're working together on Cricket Lane?
We are indeed, yeah.
Jolly good.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
It's a great example of collaboration between various parties. So when the canal was abandoned, Lichfield City Council bought the land and they kept it as public open space. Unfortunately, they had to fill the canal in at about the start of the 1970s because of health and safety concerns. But as development has taken place, they sold this section of land so that we could get the Lichfield Southern Bypass, designed and built by the County Council, the development with Persimmon here, and the canal in the middle that we're going to build. So Persimmon have worked really well with us on this. So you can see that the canal channel has broadly gone in. There are the 2 culvert crossings for the roads going into the development. And so basically we're going to be shaping the channel, reopening Lock, which is just down on the corner there at a bit of a pinch point, and we hope to be in building next year. As you can see, the County Council have done a really good job with planting along hedge lines and so on. Persimmon have been keeping the grass on the banks down. The bed is a little bit damp, so that's left to nature at the moment. So it just enhances the whole area, really. And obviously you can see the houses here are designed to complement the canal, take advantage of the canal being there. So it really works for everybody.
The land alongside Falkland Road has been transferred from Staffordshire County Council to the Trust.
This is a real good example of the support that the County Council has given to the Trust over the years, and shows really good forward thinking. When the developments took place in this area, the bypass was required, and the County Council took possession of land for the bypass, but they allowed also sufficient room for the canal here, so that at a stage when we were ready, they would transfer land from County Council to us so that we can build the canal. That canal will go all the way through to Birmingham Road. At Birmingham Road roundabout, the County Council have already built the canal culvert that goes underneath the roundabout, so we've got a nice easy run through here.
Yeah, this is wonderful to be involved as the County Councillor for this area. I've seen the development of the Canal Trust over a number of years, and this is yet more stages being developed. It's quite good to see it happening inch by inch, mile by mile as we go through the Trust area, because I've been involved for the City Council, the District Council and the County.
Yeah.
And all along the way, I mean, I live on Borrowcop, so all along the way there's been partnerships struck up and foresight on behalf of the Canal Trust and also the 3 councils to all recognise what needs to happen. I know there's bits of land that the city has had to pass over as well. The district has worked closely where it's been involved, and latterly on this piece of land it's the counties. great to be passing the land over.
Our challenge is to bring the canal into Lichfield and through Lichfield as quickly as we can get it. That's obviously dependent on getting the land, getting the necessary funding, but we are working very hard specifically on this section of land through Lichfield, joining up the 3 development areas that have been allocated. That's Deanslade, south of Lichfield, Cricket Lane at the far end. The canal will provide a blue-green link through all of these developments, enabling people to come from the development into Lichfield without having to use major roads.
Good morning.
I took delivery of 420 saplings from the Woodland Trust earlier this week, and we need to get them in the ground. They come with a good bit of soil around the roots, so they'll last for a good few days. But we want getting them into the top of the bund along here to create more hedging, which is what we always do, because we'll need a barrier to the canal from the road. We've done that with soil and turf, and then we hedge plant on top, and I think we're probably up to, I think I'm right, Peter, in saying something like 6,000 saplings over the many years since you started it with your wife
Yes.
in applying for them
Yeah.
before my time. So we're going back at least 10 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
And we've got, as usual, our Saturday morning team of Duke of Edinburgh volunteers, plus quite a few adults today. They're filling in gaps where we've had failed planting from previous years.
We've had a pretty good success rate, haven't we, with the saplings growing?
Certainly with the Woodland Trust ones. I've got 400 coming in February from conservation volunteers. We dig trees and they will be bare rooted, so we'll need to get those in the ground or potted very quickly.
And Peter, you're doing some setting out, I believe, to mark where the canal channel's going to be.
Yes, it's very important where the hedge is to allow enough room for the restoration of the canal in this area. It's about 6 to 7 metres wide, the canal bed, with the towpath that we're now standing on, that we put in some 3-4 years ago. So we need enough room to do it, and we need it 2.5 metres, so we end up with a 2 metre verge against the road. And it makes as Chris says, it makes a nice natural hedge that is great for wildlife and the like. I think the key that you were saying is he's putting them in now. I think trying to put them in in the new year, if you try and put them in the new year, January, February, the likelihood of those actually surviving, unless you can keep watering them, unless you can keep tending them, it's a difficulty, and they're more likely to not survive. But no, this is a great day, and it's good to see the DVs and our adult volunteers out here grafting away.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
In 2024, both Peter and Christine have retired as trustees, so we won't see them around quite as much. I, for one, will miss their spontaneous and informative commentaries on my videos. Thank you, guys. But at least Peter will be able to sleep at nights.
You know what terrifies me? There's a guy called Paul.
Paul Marshall.
Paul,
oh yes,
Paul Marshall.
yes.
And Paul Marshall takes one of these
he's got
furry
the
objects.
ever-seeing lens,
One
hasn't
of
he?
these
Yes.
furry objects and rams it up your nose and says, "Say something, Pete." I'm terrified of it. I wake up in the night screaming.
Always do very well. I mean, we always do one take.
Well, we tend to, don't we? I would much prefer to do one take, and it's worth. I mean, I have to say, your brain's scrambling around thinking, now what do I need to say? And you think afterwards, you think, did I say everything? And you think, no, I probably did catch most of it. But
In last year's Big Give Christmas Challenge, which we called the Big Dig, We raised funds to update our aging excavator fleet, so we thought it was time to show you what we bought. Thanks to your generous donations, we were able to purchase a second-hand 3-ton Hitachi excavator and to overhaul it to a high standard.
A fairly compact size, which is ideal for ourselves. It will fit into a locked chamber, which is a very important feature in our work. It's a Hitachi machine. We haven't had one of those in our fleet before, and it's been brought up to standard with some fresh fittings in it by Andy Page, who's looking after our plant so well these days. So we're very pleased to have this in our fleet, and you can see by the machines around that it's just quite a small and compact size. Yeah, the funding for this machine came from the Big Give Christmas Challenge, where helpful donors put their hands in their pockets, so to speak, to raise enough money for us to be able to buy this machine, and there's still some in the pot for further expenditure. So it's really a publicly purchased machine, and we're very grateful to the donors for having done so.
Yeah.
We welcome the Hitachi to our fleet and thank Briggs Equipment for making it available to us some time ago when it first became possible. And pity that Gavin Wickham isn't here himself to say for that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed for that.
Let's take a few minutes to watch our volunteers and machinery in action at Tamworth Road, as they continue work on the section from Old Lock 23 and the approach to Cricket Lane.
Yeah, what we're doing here is we're at London Road Bridge, we're just lowering the level of the soil underneath the bridge, digging out a small amount of the channel so we can get excavators and plants under there so that we can do a trial hole further up there to identify where Lock 23 is. So we're just digging down about 400 mil until we get to the top of the big pipe. Just to give us a little bit more space to get under. So it's part of the preparatory works for the next section.
All right, so you're not going right down to the full depth of the canal?
No, we just take it a little bit out so that we can get plant and machinery underneath the bridge. Right. So at the moment it's been filled so that too much so that we can't get, we haven't got the headroom to get the plant underneath.
Right.
In the background you can see two machines working away on our large stockpile. What's happening is that the material is being removed by Chasetown Civil Engineering for reuse in Burton-on-Trent. We're getting out somewhere of the order of 11 lorry loads a day, and that's approximately 18 tonnes of sand per lorry. The activity is going to be carrying on to the end of this week, and by that time we will have removed quite a lot of material, creating another platform, and then we'll be back next week to digging out down below and rebuilding the stockpile. This work is going to carry on through into next year, because on current programme by about May We'll have the county council coming in to start building the culvert under Cricket Lane, and we need to be out of here with all this surplus material by that time if we can.
So 2025 promises to be another busy year with more exciting developments. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can follow the work as it progresses. Better still, become a volunteer and really make a difference.